The other software is Adobe, a company you're likely much more familiar with because there's a significant headquarter presence here. This was funded several years ago on one-time funds, and then it was funded for 2 years on CARES funding, and then last year on one-time funds. And so for 4 years, there's been one-time funding supporting this statewide license. Our request, of course, is to make that an ongoing request. We do have, I believe, Eric Scholler from Davis School District from the Catalyst Studios. I think he has a few students that can share just real quickly their use of the Adobe product, if that's okay, Mr. Chair. Just have a few students that want to talk about their use of this product.
Sorry that we're talking about Adobe and Scribble up here, so sorry about that. So, yes, that's great. Come on up, and if you would please state your name, and that'd be very helpful for our staff. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So my name is Eric Scholler. I teach at the Catalyst Center. I'm a graphic design teacher. I'm in my 17th year of teaching, and have used the Adobe software extensively all of those 17 years. As mentioned, the past several years it's been funded, and I think it's been a huge thing for students, and has been a huge step forward in education. It's definitely helped with equity and access. Students who previously were only able to do those types of projects in the classroom are now able to work on those things from home or honestly anywhere that they're at. It's also helped them gain skills they can take directly into the workforce, and has helped, prepare them for the future, really. So where I teach students, we put a focus on students working on industry projects with like business partners, actual projects. And so they have that to prepare them for the future. And many of these projects that they've done for real business partners have been done using the Adobe software. So I think it's been a tremendous initiative. I think it'll continue to help education in Utah move forward, and I would encourage its continued funding. So as mentioned here with me are a few students who've used this software in projects with real businesses and in competition, and to prepare for their future. So thank you.
Thank you. I've been corrected, which is one of many. We need to have you write down on the sheet there so we get the spelling of your name correctly. So if you would, please, thank you, each one of you. Again, state your name, that'd be great. Thank you.
Morning, everyone.
And welcome.
My name is White Robbins. I'm a senior at Davis High School. I've used Adobe for my entire high school career since my freshman year. And it's been, I would argue, critical in some of the things I've been doing. Not only for my work at the Davis Catalyst, but also individually. I've been able to develop professionally and engage in projects that have helped local businesses and groups. So I've done projects, for example, at the Davis Catalyst, where I have designed merchandise for local bands, as well as worked with several other local businesses in designing logos and icons for software. And by extension, with my use of the Adobe software, I've discovered a career path that I otherwise would not have. And therefore, I and other students like me would benefit from the continuation of this initiative with Adobe. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
Next, come on up and welcome.
Hi, my name is Kieran Goff. I'm a senior at Clearfield High School. I'm also involved in graphic design and video production at.
Can you move that mic just a little bit closer? I want to make sure that everybody online can hear you too. I'm sure your parents are listening in, I'm sure, so.
I'm currently on my 5th semester at the Davis Catalyst Center, and I've become very familiar with the Adobe software. In utilizing programs such as Photoshop, Illustrator, and Premiere Pro, I've been able to design and build several creative projects suitable for real-life businesses. And having access to Adobe programs has prepared me immensely for my possible future career in graphic and Illustrator, and then such as the title page, and then import it into Premiere. I'm then able to effectively cut and piece together. Adobe ensures everything looks cohesive.
Thank you. Come up, welcome.
Hi, My name is Tae Kim, and I'm from Syracuse High School. Having access to Adobe programs has had such a tremendous impact on my career as an artist. It has allowed me to get a jump start on the industry and has given me an advantage in terms of my career over peers who may not have had the same opportunities as I have. By having free access to Adobe softwares, I was able to get as much practice as I needed to become proficient in my industry. Being Adobe certified has also helped me get into one of the top art schools in the United States, which I don't think I would have been able to do without access to Adobe at such a young age. I use Adobe Animate to practice my animation abilities and create animations to practice for the industry and participate in animation competitions like the Digital Media Arts Festival. The programs I use the most would have to be Premiere Pro. Anytime I have a class assignment that requires me to record a video, I've always used Premiere Pro to help me edit and polish the video. Even outside of school, I'll use programs like Premiere Pro and Photoshop for personal projects. Adobe has had such a huge impact on my life, and I can't imagine where I would be now without it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Appreciate you being here. That's awesome. We all love to have the youth here and participating in this process up here. Thank you for being here. And we have a question from Representative Benyon. Go ahead, Representative.
Yeah. I wonder if the teacher could come back and tell us more about the Davis Catalyst Center. I don't know about this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Representative. Co-Chair Keller, did you want to talk about it? Should we have their?
We'll let him talk about it, but the Davis Catalyst Center is fabulous. You should come and tour it. It's a great innovative learning model.
Great. Is that free of charge
so the
for
Catalyst,
that
yes.
tour?
That tour is free of charge. We
Okay.
can hook you up.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you're
it.
definitely all welcome to come down
Go-
for a
go
tour
ahead.
anytime. We'd be glad to have you. So it's in Davis School District. It's somewhat of a CTE magnet school where all of the high schools in the district can come over for 2 periods, and then they work in a specific program. And we, most of our programs work with business partners on real industry projects. We have people that come in, work with students on those types of things.
Great, thank you. And I'm sorry, you just go ahead, Representative.
Yeah, I just wonder how long they've been there.
We opened like 2.5 years ago, so we're relatively new.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you, Representative. And let's go over to Representative Malloy. You have a question or comment? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, sorry to have him questions. You mentioned you had been teaching this for 17 years, and so this opened up 2 years ago. How was it funded? All the software, was it funded before that when you were teaching it before? And
No, so when I started teaching like 17 years ago at Layton High School, we had to purchase the software separately in place of our textbooks. And so students could only do those types of projects in the lab. No one really had access to it outside of class.
And the business partners that you mentioned, do they contribute or participate in helping fund this? Or
Fund the software? No.
No.
Their primary purpose is to help students get that real-world experience on those actual projects that they can use to kind of jumpstart their career and prepare them for university.
Okay. Well, I think it's great. I'm just curious about the funding and how we did it before, if we're funding it now. So that was my curiosity. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative. Great comments. I appreciate that. I don't see any other comments, and I think Representative Malloy was maybe hinting at some of the representatives from Adobe in the room that maybe they could donate some hardware or some of the schools. So appreciate their and software and some more hardware. So thank you. Appreciate you being here. Spencer, go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We appreciate Eric and his students coming. It's much more interesting to hear them than me. So, and to sort of piggyback on your question, Representative, as we've negotiated licenses at the state level, we're able to drive down that cost significantly because of the number of licenses. So there is some, I guess you could say, negotiating ability we have, and so that's why it's become more popular for districts to turn to UETN and say, can we get a statewide license for this software or that software?